I will fight for you. I always do until my heart is black and blue. And I will stay.
We're here because we've got a group of patients with a genetic mutation that predisposes them to colorectal cancer. And if they enter the surveillance program, they will live for 20 years longer than if they don't enter it. So the surveillance program involves doing colonoscopy yearly for them for the rest of their lives. And obviously 20 years is a big benefit to them. Remember that lots of these patients have had family members that have died of colorectal cancer. So, they know what this is about. The word is spread, and, over the last 27 years that Professor Goldberg's been doing this, the community's got huge faith in him. We're part of the furniture now. They know it, the hospitals know we're coming, the patients know we're coming, and those involved in the program embrace it happily.
This is actually a fantastic translation from laboratory to quite high-end clinical service, but as a preventative primary care exercise. The kind of facilities that we have in Gurries at the moment probably are the best colonoscopic services that you can find on the continent. The PinkDrive component, it's extremely important in Lynch syndrome to define whether breast cancer is actually part of the disease process or not.
It's been fantastic to be able to give back and help these poor folk who are really, really underserviced in this area. It really has been an enriching experience, and particularly with the PinkDrive folk. Services they offer are unbelievable. We particularly need to thank our sponsors, because this wouldn't be possible at all if we didn't have sponsors. It's always a case of finding money to be able to continue the program.
We want to make a difference for these people who don't have access to the healthcare that people in the bigger cities and stuff have access to. People here don't have access to gynecologists and PinkDrive who gives mammograms. For us, it's been here to help the people. We bring portable equipment, but even for a portable system, it does have all the functionalities and stuff that you would need and that you'd have access to in some of the bigger hospitals and services.
So the first benefit is the service to the community, and it's something we all want to contribute to. The second thing is working with colleagues who you may not be working with regularly. It is a wonderful team building. I meet people like the PinkDrive and the people from other specialities, and I'm including here the nurses and the technicians, the radiographers, you name it. Very important, the genetics people. And that in itself, it just puts everything into context and why we are all contributing.
The patients understand that they need to be screened regularly, but I don't think they understand where an anesthetist is involved. So they kind of just see us as part of the staff. But once you help them through the procedure, and afterwards they're just so grateful that they can't remember it, they didn't feel any pain, and then they have a nice experience and they're willing to come back.
My big thing here is if you take a 16-year-old girl and she's got Lynch syndrome, she's going to need for the next 40 or 50 years probably biannual colonoscopies. If she has an unpleasant experience, then she's going to do two things. Number one, she won't come back. But number two, she's going to tell all her family members not to come because it's unpleasant. So what we found in the first year is that we had about 60 to 70 patients. Once we became involved, we went up to 140 the next year. And therefore we see more, we get to diagnose more, and we get to control this disorder. And that's simply by providing the most pleasant experience for the patient.
And I'm here to do risk assessments on the patients to see whether they're at risk because of their family history, because people who have family members who have tested positive for a change in one of their genes are at 50% risk of getting it from their parents. The other risk that I actually assess is the risk to themselves of actually getting the test result. To be able to go out into a community like this and then to offer them so many extra years of life, because we know what's causing this problem and because we can help them to look for this problem and to get help if they do pick up cancers, and rather pick them up much earlier.
My feeling about the project, they need a coordinator in the main academic centers. That coordinator needs to network, like I have, with whoever does the surgical service, the oncology service, the genetic service. And if I can have a little network of 5 or so people in the country, we could really run a national service with picking up those that we think are at risk, getting them genetically tested, and then bouncing back at them to actually get families tested. And so all in all, that would be my dream to actually have.
This model has the potential of offering what the WHO has called for. They have called for a greater awareness and dedication to the management of non-communicable diseases. It is for that reason that an outreach service like this will be absolutely invaluable, because it will be the integration of the management of non-communicable diseases between community and tertiary care. If we were to integrate these services in this way, I think there would be, a burning necessity for South Africa to embark upon this. For the first time, the dream that I have had for many years is potentially a reality here.
For me, it's giving patients access to the treatment that they need. It's very important for me to work with the PinkDrive team because, people know the truck. They can see also the truck is coming. They see the truck standing there and they think, oh, I've got a lump. I've got a problem. Let me go I think because the PinkDrive truck is visible, it sort of draws the patients to come to us as well. It will be very difficult to do it without a PinkDrive truck.
There's an amazing bond between the UCT team, the patients, and PinkDrive. They come to us and they bring members of their community with, even though those members are not part of the UCT research project. So the Bush Telegraph is working here in the Northern Cape, regardless of the vast distances that people have to travel.
I'm not going down that easily, so don't give up on me. I will fight for you. I always do until my heart is black and blue.